Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm your host, and today we are going to be discussing the Space Jam movies, as I just saw the new one when it released last night, and how I feel about them. Now, I will admit up front, I'm not a fan of either one of the stars in it, Michael Jordan or LeBron James, but the movies, both were pretty decent. The first one came out in the 90s. For any kid of the 90s who liked basketball, this was a major deal. This was when Jordan quit to play baseball, all that, and had just recently returned to the game of basketball when they made the movie. Well, in the 90s, when they did it, they focused more on the humor and the basketball game, including the star athletes such as the players of which they stole the talents from, rather than they made it more of a psychological deal rather than just, oh, we stole their talents, let's go. And it showed how the underdogs overcome the odds type story, which was kind of a thing in the 90s. The Mighty Ducks and certain other films that they did. Even though the Mighty Ducks was under Disney rather than Warner Brothers. Now, now the new one still follows the idea of being a basketball movie, but it's more family film and focuses on the idea of the family rather than the basketball itself. Also, it's more about not forcing somebody to be something. In this case, the title has to deal with, in my view, the father to son legacy. As it's revealed early in the movie that that one of the sons are a big video game type deal. They like to play games. They've even built one, even though it has some issues. Whereas the father, in this case LeBron, wants them to both be basketball stars just like him and push them to be their best because it's how he was taught. Which in the 90s I saw coming because it was a thing you could see even in Nightmare on Elm Street, the be like me thing when they did that type deal. Although with Nightmare on Elm Street, they made it really funny in that case, and it made sense. Also, but back to the case of this. Also, it kept modern day tech in the movie, such as 3D imaging and the a lot of the stuff that was done in the movie was more towards today's styling than keeping the characters were 3D rather than 2D. They used the idea of virtual simulation or immersion, where people would go into the system rather than just making it look like they were there. Kind of like the idea of Lawnmower Man. Also, if you look in the groups when it has the big game, you can see characters ranging from way back in the day, like Jabberjaws, to the aliens from the first movie, and other characters of up to today. Now, what? Now, in my personal view, they're both decent movies and they're worth watching. But if you want an all-out comedy, then Jordan's wins. If you want one that's the family film, then you want the LeBron James film. So it just depends on which one you're looking for in this case. So have fun.